Hello again! For this video, I have chosen Theodore Dreiser's Trilogy of Desire. Why Dreiser's Desire? It cannot be said that his prose is very popular these days, but it surely possesses a certain charm of the gone epoch. Personally, I like Dreiser. His sister Carrie and an American tragedy, but The Financier stands out in my opinion due to its vibrant characters, eloquent language, and the main character's simple lack of morale that surprisingly makes this novel quite moralistic. Being a journalist of the naturalist school, Dreiser managed to bring fresh perspective into daily routine of his character's life. His Trilogy of Desire is considered to be one of the most prominent works of American literature. This, indeed quite a lengthy work, was started by Dreiser in 1911 with the first part, The Financier, published in 1912, continued in 1914 with the second part, The Titan, and finished only in 1945 with The Stoic. However, finished is not the right word, as the third part was not completed as Dreiser, aged 74, died in 1945 and the book was published only in 1947 by his widow Helen. The trilogy centers around an American financier, Frank Cowperwood, his childhood and youth in Philadelphia, adulthood in Chicago, and mature years in London. Frank Algernon Cowperwood is described as a natural-born leader. Dreiser defined him as an intellectual egoist, while literary critics characterized him as a man with zero morality, guided by the motto, "I satisfy myself." When following Cowperwood's biography, readers can experience a wide range of emotions, as one can admire the character, sympathize with him, and even sometimes despise him. In my opinion, Dreiser generally justifies Cowperwood, considering the greatness of his financial genius above all. It is almost a story about a good, successful friend there. However, it is very interesting to mention that the main character is based on the real-life streetcar tycoon Charles Yerkes, who was one of the robber barons, as were the Carnegies and Rockefellers. Unfortunately, there is no evidence of Dreiser and Yerkes being acquainted, so the question remains open. Charles Yerkes was born in Philadelphia in a Quaker family. His mother died young, and his father remarried a woman outside the faith. The family was not welcome there anymore. The future magnate's career started at the age of 17 as a clerk, and so did the career of his prototype, Frank Cowperwood. He married in an early age an older woman. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to find any image of the first wife. However, quoting Dreiser, she was 24 as opposed to his 19. She was not brilliant, not active, but rather peaceful and statuesque without knowing it. Although Lillian was the first wife and the mother of Cowperwood's children, she was not destined to hold his interest for long. She lost her struggle to the woman who undoubtedly played the main part in Cowperwood's life, Aileen Butler. Aileen is a true description of Charles Yerkes' second wife, Marie Adelaide Moore. There are not many pictures of her left. Loud and vivacious by nature, Aileen attracted Cowperwood's attention in her maidenhood and became his mistress and then his wife, causing great sufferings to the both families, hers and Cowperwood's. However, her fate didn't differ much from the one of her predecessors. But clearly, she presented a type of women so desired by Cowperwood, healthy, shapely, beautiful, one can say too beautiful, with gorgeous red golden hair. Aileen lacked certain qualities that could pave her road into society, and it was quite disappointing to Cowperwood. With passing years and passing mistresses, he came to the conclusion of his ideal woman in possession of those characteristics was a young, beautiful, artistic girl, Berenice Fleming, who surely had red golden hair and the tact of a real lady. Berenice Fleming is a character written from Emily Bugsby Grigsby, who was Yerkes' final true passion. She was able to win London society and be highly praised as a hostess. Though large parts of the trilogy describe Frank's love life, my attention was turned to his financial ascension. Regaining one's fortune after losing everything and going to prison demonstrates willpower, courage, and confidence. As Cowperwood's prototype, Charles Yerkes was a gentleman of virtue and a connoisseur of art. However, his virtue was, so to say, extremely easy. I wonder if he would have not had all his troubles due to his liaisons. Could he have achieved more? Yerkes's mansions were truly magnificent. His first mansion in Philly will still stands, however, it does not look as dashing as before. There are no pictures of his second mansion in Chicago. However, there are photos of his third mansion in New York. Yerkes added a wing to the house as a gallery to place in his none more formidable collection. Unfortunately, after his death, everything was sold to pay off his debts, and later the beautiful mansion was demolished. There was one more magnificent mansion, built for Yerkes's last love, Emily Grigsby. It was richly decorated, furnished, and some valuable objects of art were kept there. As fate would have it, the house was knocked down in 1926. However, there is something left after the magnate. Yerkes Observatory. It functioned as a center for astronomical research for more than 100 years and was closed in October 2018. One of the craters on the moon was named after Yerkes. So, what is the most catching thing in the book? For me, it is dialogues. Cowperwood's professional communication strategies are fascinating. They are collaborative and productive at the same time. He is a shrewd, ruthless liar at the same way, very emphatic and sympathetic. Each book describes his big fight for each of three periods of life: Philadelphia fight when young, Chicago fight when an adult, and London fight when mature. From fight to fight, his communication style gets subtler, remaining the same at the core. He plays social factor when dealing with Butler, Eileen's father, social-cultural factor with Hand, a businessman and husband of one of his mistresses, cultural factor with Lord Steyne, one of his London partners. In what case should one read the book? Well, if you are not sure in your future, then that is the book. Cowperwood believed in his fate to become a great financier. He knew well enough that he would eventually die, but accepted it and lived fully, memento mori, so to say. After the book, one can say that if you are good, really good at something, there will always be envy, and can describe the plot by one saying, "The dogs bark, but the caravan goes on." For my next video, I have chosen a book and have a riddle for you. The first one to guess it right will get a set of stickers in Contact. Here goes the riddle. The money is a greater evil than killing butterflies and time. By the way, I'm in great need of your honest opinion on the video. Please write your comments or ideas. Give it a like if you did like it. Keep calm and read a good book.